Okay, everybody. Um, so we are going to take a look at the first part for the Hunt for Troy. Please follow along as I read to you. Discover how experts used Homer's tale to find an ancient city. It's one of the greatest stories ever, the tale of a war fought over the love of Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world. But is there any truth to the tale? Did Troy actually exist? Archaeology's first efforts to answer these questions got off to an unsteady start. German adventurer Heinrich Schliemann took up archaeology after making a fortune in business. He was convinced that the myth was true, so he set off to find the city of Troy. Following clues from the pages of Homer, Schliemann believed he'd located the site of Troy on what is now the Turkish coast. In 1970, he began to excavate. Over 4 seasons, he cut his way down through an ancient mound, shifting hundreds of tons of rubble. At the bottom of the mound, he uncovered the walls of a fortress. Soon afterward, he found a collection of golden treasure. He displayed his sensational finds to the world and declared he'd found Homer's Troy. But Schliemann had been struggling to date his remains. As archaeology developed as a science, it became clear that his buildings and treasure were from an early Bronze Age, about 2500 BC. That's more than 1,000 years before the traditional date of the legend. This fortress could never have been the scene of a great battle over Helen. In 1893, an excavation led by Schliemann's former assistant, Wilhelm Dörpfeld, began to uncover a very different Troy. Dörpfeld excavated a citadel with massive walls, high towers, and great gates. This citadel was from the late Bronze Age, a time that fitted the legend. The city had physical features that were referenced in the myth. For instance, Homer had described how the warrior Patroclus was able to scale the walls of Troy because they were built at an angle. Sections of the walls that Dörpfeld uncovered were indeed sloping. Once again, archaeologists declared that this was the city of legend.